Hey guys, Mustang here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we are carrying on looking at the new units that just awakened from the Heroines Edition, Extreme Z battle, because can't call it the Peppy Gals one because Pan's not in there, but we've done the Pan one. We're going to do the Physical Bulma next. So, Physical Bulma, she's an interesting one because when you just read her kit, she seems like she is pretty good, right? But she's not on a lot of teams, so I'm showing her off on the Peppy Gals team in this one, because no one runs Dragon Ball Saga leads, basically, because, you know, Kid Goku is the leader you want, right, to get the better leader skill. Dragon Ball Seekers, we kind of talked about this in the Pan video, that, like, that category is maybe one of the weaker ones that some of these units are on, but there's a lot of other very powerful options, and the problem with this Bulma is, of course, the fact that she has, like, the Dragon Ball Saga type links, right? So even on teams like Peppy Gals, there's really like specific units you need to run her with. Same with Earthlings. Youth is obviously good because there's a lot of crossover with Dragon Ball Saga. But anyway, so her passive is a key +4, attack and defense 100%. She gets an additional attack and defense 50% when performing a super attack. She has a medium chance to dodge. She then gets an additional attack and defense 10% up to 50 with each attack that she dodges, and then an additional attack and defense 10% with each attack received. Each attack received. Both of those go up to 50%, so that's potentially another 100% attack and defense once she has dodged 5 attacks and received 5 attacks. So she also recovers 5% HP per rainbow keister obtained. The problem is, like, obviously she does have the medium chance to dodge in her passive, but that could take a while to build up, like the buff from her dodge. Hopefully we can get a few of them off in this video so we can see her fully built up, because obviously the receiving attacks is not really a huge problem. And then her super attack, she does supreme damage to the enemy, recovers 5% HP. So she has no, like, you know, raises defense for 1 turn or anything like that, but she is getting that extra buff on super attack from her passive. So we've got her linked up here with Launch, who's one of her better link partners on this team. We've also got the support from the Int Kale. As you can see, she's only starting off at like 85k defense. So obviously this goes up to close to 150 when she super attacks, but we really need to start building up her kit. So if we lose out on solid support if we put her in slot 1, but we need her to be dodging attacks, right, so we can get her built up as quickly as possible. And of course here we are on turn 3, because typical showcase luck, she was in slot 7, but it means I was able to keep Kale around so we can see this rotation with support. So 1.7, it's not terrible. Now can we dodge? Alright, we don't dodge, so we take a hit, but that's obviously part of our build up here. We need to get a turn where we have like multiple attacks in that first or second slot, and we can put Bulma there. Obviously Launch is a pretty solid unit as well. She's going to get off loads of extra attacks here. She has a lot of effects on her attacks, which really useful in some events and things like Super Battle Road, but obviously as we get towards the end of some of these longer events, the enemies become immune to these effects, and so then units that kind of have to make up for having low defense by having these kind of effects, obviously they then start to really suffer in these longer form events. So we want to try and keep some rainbow orbs around so we can potentially get some of that free healing from the Physical Bulma's passive. But yeah, the Bulma one seems like at some point Dragon Ball Saga is going to get some buffs, right? Like, you always see people talking about, like, you know, Goku versus Marjunia and all this kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of big moments from OG Dragon Ball that have very little to no representation in Dokkan, and I see people talking about it all the time. Like, a lot of people want like a Dragon Ball Saga themed anniversary, but for a lot of other people that's not as hype. Like, people in my Discord like to meme that I hate OG Dragon Ball, which is not true. I'm just not as big a fan of it, of Z. I obviously watched it through the one time and then have never rewatched it, whereas obviously I've rewatched lots of Z. Z is what got me into it, like a lot of people, right? Like, I didn't see the OG Dragon Ball first, and I think that's probably the same for quite a lot of people. So I want Launch to go first, but not kill. But the problem is, I feel like Launch and Bulma together are absolutely going to kill him. But obviously Bulma gets no buffs on her super attack or anything like that, so it makes no difference whether she actually super attacks this turn or not. We just ideally want her to either dodge or take hits, because we've taken 1 hit so far, So we've still got to take 4 more hits and dodge 5 attacks in order for her passive to be fully built up. And then we can see what kind of numbers she's getting. Because on that first turn, pretty shockingly bad defense, all things considered. But so attacks that was over 2 mil. We got the crit, so we finished him off. So I do feel like this is probably the part of this that's going to become the biggest issue, right? Is actually getting her attacked enough times. Because even here, for example, this turn for Chaozu, he's attacking 3 times. All of them are spread out across all of the slots. So ideally we want him to be focusing all of his attacks into one place. But I feel like that's a downside for this Bulma. Because if you take her into, like, say you take her into the Legendary Vegeta event, like, say Dragon Ball Saga gets a mission or Peppy Gals, and you want to take her into that event on your team. The problem is, obviously, dodging is disabled in the final stage. So you really need to make sure early on that you're putting her in front of as many attacks as possible so she can get her passive built up. Because getting hit the 5 times is fine, right? But she needs to get those 5 dodges as well in order for her passive to be fully built up. And if you don't get those by the time you get to the final stage, well then obviously dodge is disabled and you can't, you know, you just can't dodge anymore. So you're never going to get that final build up. So unfortunately, we've got another status effect. I had to use one earlier because I think is it the second fight? They seal one of your characters randomly, and of course they decided to seal Bulma for the first turn that we had her on rotation. So go ahead and grab this. So her defense now, 100k at the start of the turn. But again, this is with 1 out of the 10 possible stacks from her passive build-up. So, okay, we take another hit. So that's 2 hits received now. We just need to hope we can get some turns with some more attacks in 1 slot. Because, see, this would have been perfect. This would have been the perfect turn to have Bulma on rotation. Typical. So, I mean, unfortunately, with so much support around her, Videl is probably going to do a ridiculous amount of damage this turn. So hopefully we... I was going to say hopefully we don't 1-turn Gohan, but it's very possible with this setup. Double support for Videl. No crit, though, off of her. Fortunately, she wasn't getting hit first, so she's not getting any of her buffs. So she's not quite as effective as her best case scenario. Super attack as well. Shouldn't take too much damage from this. Well, still 150k. I guess Videl's not the craziest defensive unit, but that is on a 1/7. I mean, it's actually, is it my Videl or the friend? Yeah, see, mine's only 55% and not fully link leveled. I think I started link leveling her, but because I knew I was never really going to use her, something else came out that was like a far more pressing unit that I wanted to link level. So here we go. Hopefully we don't get the KO with Bulma, because we've got 3 attacks coming our way. Start of this turn with support, we're at 117k. So she's over 150k defense after super attacking now. Obviously the healing is nice, right? Because she not only heals you from the rainbow orbs, she does also heal on super attack. We finally got a dodge, so we've got 1 of those buffs now. And then we take 2 hits. So we've been hit 4 times and dodged once. So we are getting an extra 50% attack and defense. But now we only need to get hit 1 more time, and then we really need to start having these dodges come through. Otherwise, we're not going to get any more stacks on her passive. So, be interesting to see what her defense is now going to be at the start of the next turn. Because now we've actually got a couple more solid buffs in there. Hopefully, she's looking a little bit better. I mean, this is the problem. We've had a lot of units coming out lately where they get buffs on super attack. And so, obviously, you can't really see their defense as accurately just by looking in the menu at the start of the turn. Because Bulma specifically, like 50% extra on super attack. That's a pretty significant amount. So, what are we looking at here? So, we're starting off at 127k now with a support unit. So, we are going up. We're quite easily clearing 150k defense post super attack now. Which is alright. It's nothing too crazy. Which, see if we can actually get some dodges here. We need to take 1 more hit and then actually get some dodges. Alright, good. There's 1 dodge. We're up to 2.5 on the attack. I mean, I feel like for Dragon Ball Saga, she definitely is like a solid buff, right? Because that team hasn't had a lot of love lately, right? It's missing out on some real, like, new, big, shiny units. But the problem is, that's probably the team that she's going to be the best on. But, like, when do you ever run that team? I mean, like I said, there were no Kid Gokus available for me to bring to use that team, like, for this video. Like, it just feels like a team that you're never really going to get to run. So it's kind of disappointing that, like, that's probably the team where she will be the best. I mean, her links are geared towards being on that team, right? So we got the buff from Toa for being below 50% HP. I was going to heal, but I guess we might as well just grab these same type orbs and then get the Dokkan attack with Videl. Are Goten and Trunks the last enemy? I can't remember the last time I did this youth stage. They actually may well be, so we'll see if we end up getting another turn with Bulma. I want to see what her defense is again. We took the final hit and we got another dodge. So she's at what, like 70% out of the possible 100 from the buffs. So yeah, I feel like the problem is she takes a little while to build up. The teams that she's on, like, are you ever really going to run them? I mean, it's cool that they gave all of these old, like, everyone just used to call them, like, the waifu cards because they all have the heart, like, backgrounds. But it's cool that they gave them EZAs, but some of these units, like the physical Bulma, I just really struggle to see, like, where their place is in the game. Because, I mean, yeah, Peppy Gals is a really solid team now. I mean, Bulma is, like, not even probably, like, a top 10 unit on this team, like, after her EZA. So it really feels like Dragon Ball Saga is potentially the only stage that you're going to be running her on. And, you know, when do you run that team? Like I said, I mean, if they add a mission for the Goku event or the Vegeta event, I believe, yeah, Dragon Ball Saga doesn't have its own Super Battle Road stage yet, so I figure that will be coming at some point. But with the way JP does the Super Battle Road stages now, where they're only bringing out like one new stage with each celebration, chances are that means we won't get a Dragon Ball Saga stage until like Dragon Ball Saga gets some kind of new Dokkan Fest or something like that. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how that's going to play out. So launch has been sealed. Alright, so we're up to 146, and that's without support now. So that's obviously looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put her here, because obviously we want to get, what is it? We need 3 more dodges. So if she could just go ahead and dodge all of these, that'd be great. But, you know, unless we get any more dodges, we're not getting any more buffs. So let's see what her attack stat is here without support. Obviously, this is the highest her defense has been, even with a support unit on the rotation. So 2.6 million. Pretty good. There's a dodge. Can we get one more? Oh, especially when now that it's a super attack. Alright, we got 1 dodge. So we're up to like 80% out of the possible 100 that she can get from her passive. And again, this is where, like, how slow that's going to build up becomes an issue. Because this is the final phase, I'm fairly sure, of this run. So obviously, if this was a stage that did actually debuff, or like, sorry, remove dodge completely, we'd have no other way to get those extra stacks. And so then you're basically stuck at that level for the rest of the event. So, like I said, I'm really struggling to think like a good place to use her. Because if Dragon Ball Saga gets its own Super Battle Road stage, then the healing is nice. Obviously, all of the units on that team link really well, because there's a bunch of links that only they have. So even some of the units that the rest of their link set is not super similar, they are going to share some links together. So, I mean, is that probably the best place that she's going to see, like, any use? You guys will have to let me know what you think down below in the comment section. But, of course, we get super attacked on the int unit. But fortunately, EZA KO is pretty strong defensively. So we have our support unit. We'll make this the final turn for physical Bulma. So we'll grab a couple of rainbow orbs here. That gives us a nice little bit of healing there. And her defense with a support unit on the rotation is 176k. So post super attack, this is jumping up like basically to like 250, if not slightly above, which is pretty good. It's just the fact that it took us so long to get there, right? We're in like the last stat. I mean, this is probably the last turn, right? 3.25 on her attack stat, which again, that's not a bad attack stat, but look how deep into the event we are before we finally get that attack stat. And then I believe, I know there is one final stage, but we are going to end it off there for the physical Bulma. So yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you think of her down below in the comment section. Where do you think she will actually see any use? I really do think it's only going to be on the Dragon Ball Saga team. But obviously, if you've got a newer account, Peppy Gals and stuff, she's a good unit to fit on them teams. But other than that, I don't really see a crazy amount of usage for her. It's wild to think that, like, Bulma is essentially, if you trace it all the way back to the original Dragon Ball, she's kind of like basically the main female character. And she doesn't have really any good cards in the game, which is kind of weird. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.